Hello YouTube land. Well, I'm out here today to review the Hubsan Zino. Now the Hubsan Zino has been out for a while and you're probably wondering why am I reviewing it? Well, it's because a lot of viewers on my channel keep asking for me to review the Hubsan Zino. I did order it way back in 2018 when it first came out, but due to some errors in shipping, it never arrived, so I just gave up on it because it is an older drone. Now when the Hubsan Zino first came out, it was a drone that was all about the 4K camera and the 3-axis gimbal. Most reviews were so-so about the drone because it was not a very expensive drone. And it's almost like Hubsan said, guys, how much is it going to cost us to put a 3-axis gimbal and a 4K camera in a drone? And when they got the price, they said, great, now let's spend $50 on the other parts, the plastic and the controller and everything else. That's pretty much what the Hubsan Zino looks like. It looks like a toy drone with a really nice camera. Like a lot of drones today, if you look at the bottom of a drone, you see all these sensors and everything. But watch this. If I pull the battery out, watch what happens. Holy cow, there's nothing there, just a big gaping hole because the battery takes up all the space. So there's no sensors in the Zino. It works basically on a barometer to stay in the air. Now with that said, don't get me wrong, it's a very, 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 very good drone. For the price, there is nothing on the market that matches it for the price. And the reason I'm reviewing it today is not only because all you viewers keep asking me to review it, it's because it's dropped in price. Now check this out, it's dropped in price, so it's extremely affordable now, and Hubsan has improved all the problems that it had when it first came out. Well, almost all of them. My drone just arrived like a few days ago and it has all the latest firmware on it, so I have no update. So that means everything new that Hubsan has thrown into it, fixed from the past, is all in this drone. It's early morning, I'm gonna fly it around, and this is gonna be the very first flight of this drone. I've only charged the battery once, so we'll see the battery, see how it does. It's supposed to get you like 22 minutes of flight time, so I should get at least 20 minutes of flight time. It has a range of 2.5 thousand meters, which in Canada or North America, the metric system is 2.5 kilometers. However, when you look closely at the specs, it says that's for the range without video. If you want to use video, in other words, the video back to your phone to see where it's going, you're limited to maybe about 1,000 meters, according to the specs. Let's go try it out. This is my first time, and I'm going to give you my very first impressions of the Hubsan Zino. So far, for the price, it's looking pretty good. Let's check this out. Here we have the Zino unfolded, and you can see it's very white, very plasticky looking, and check out the controller. The controller looks like a very entry-level controller, and even the markings on it, they saved money by not even coloring the naming of the buttons, so you have to look really close to see what the buttons do. Now it is a brushless motor drone and it has foldable props, and these props really have a nice angle down here. It's going to give it a lot of lift because it does weigh quite a bit. The gimbal is down below. There's a gimbal cover. I'll just see if I can take that off while filming. There we go. It's just basically pull straight down, and I'll just lift that up, and the camera is down there, and it is a 3-axis gimbal. All right, first flight, let's power this on. Should make a noise. There we go. And now over here, the controller, let's power that on. Maybe my shadow will show. So when I power this on, you'll see these blue lights. And what we want to wait for is these blue lights to become 4 solid blue lights. Let me put a shadow. And when there's 4 solid blue lights, it means the controller has found the Zino. There we go. Next thing we do is yank this out, and that is where our phone's gonna go, and it can yank way out. You can put a huge phone in there. All right, so let's plug in our phone and the app should start up. Let's see what happens. Should be almost automatic, I think. Depends how my phone is set. Oh, I guess I have to hit OK. X Hubsan is the app, and we're gonna enter our drone, and we wanna go to enter main interface. Tap on that, and there we go. So what's it say? Bind aircraft to current device. So I have to hit OK. Now it wants to do a GPS accuracy test so that if I want to do any of the controls, like follow me and all these other things, it will work. So I'll say next. It's going to test out my phone. It says, hey, your phone is great, and so is the drone. All right, this is the first time I'm flying this drone, so I'm going to do a compass calibration. So I'm going to click compass calibration, and it tells me what to do. So it says rotate the aircraft like this. So here we go. Once, twice, 3 times. I'm gonna have to change directions in a second. So put the butt up in the air and rotate it again until we're done. All right, we're good. All right, so on my screen, there's a takeoff button on the left. I'll hit that. Are you sure you want to take off? Okay. First flight of the Hubsan Zino. Goes up, has no sensors on the bottom whatsoever. So does it stay in place? Looks good, looks good, looks good. And you're probably wondering, how good is that 4K camera? So let me just turn the little dial here to bring it down on me. There we go, I'm in record mode. The drone is right there. So what you see is me. Let me back up. So that's me from far away, and this is me from close up. That's 4K. Now watch this, it's in front of me. I'm gonna go side to side. See how it goes like that? Now any normal drone that's going zigzaggy like this, it would be terrible, but that's what the 3-axis gimbal does. It keeps my video really nice. So it doesn't matter if it's super windy out or whatnot, your picture's always gonna look great. Let's take that up and just show you some video. So I'm flying into the sun now. Normally when you fly into the sun, you might get some lines of the sun going through the props onto the camera. That's what I'm just checking out, and it usually ruins your video. The gimbal control for the camera, I've got it set to be nice and smooth because that's what I like. So I can do nice little things like this, look down at something, look forward. And let's bring it back to me. Turn it this way. First thing I notice with this drone is it flies very nice, except the yaw control has to be adjusted. I'm barely touching it, and we can really spin this thing around in circles fast. So you have to be really easy on the yaw control. So how is that video looking? It should look pretty good. Come back to the structure. Next I'm going to try is the sport mode. So let me just take it this way, pick it up. I don't know if you can see it on my little controller. There's a switch for sport. I click that, and on my screen it says switch to expert mode. Well, it says sport, they call it expert. And let's go full blast forward, see what happens. That would be sport mode right there going forward. Let me bring the camera down so it's a little bit brighter. I can't tell how fast that is. It looks like it's okay. Here's sport mode coming at me. How does that look? Is it coming fast? It looks like it's coming pretty fast. No props that I can see in the frame in sport mode, which is pretty decent. There we go, it's going over top. All right, so let's take it out of sport. It's very light on the controls, easy to fly. Nothing's too fast, nothing's too crazy, so they've definitely made this a good drone. So on the top left of my screen, you can see it says Google. That's my maps. If I click on that, it shows the maps where I am, go back to where I want to be. And to the right of that is a crossed X. Click on that, and you see we're in normal mode. That's where we're flying in now. Now I'm going to go to orbit mode. So it tells me here, you know, how I could control stuff, throttle up, turn right, turn, all these other good stuff. Click understood, bottom. First thing it says, set transmitter location at point of interest. I'll say, right there, baby, on top of me is good. How far back do I want to go? Let's go until I see the structure. There we go, I can sort of see it in my, there's the blue. All right, so I could kind of see it there. That seems like a good orbit radius. Probably goof this up totally and execute immediately. There we go. It should go around. And you see orbit speed, you could control it. Right now it's just going. If I want to slow it down, I can slow this down. And if I wanted to speed it up, I can speed it up. There we go. So now it's full speed orbit. That's a full speed orbit right there. And it's going around and around and around and around. So I should, if I did this correctly, I should have the camera adjusted properly. All right, I guess I made my radius tube large. So let's exit that. So let's go to follow mode. Okay, I'm gonna put a little square around me. There's a square on me. Hit the go button. I did hit start active track. Well, oh, it's telling me to start active track. So there we go. So what it should do is I move, you see it's following me around, like I'm just walking here, doing this. The drone is just gonna spin with me. The follow me active track actually works. Gotta go slow. It's a very slow active track for following. Will it work if I turn my back on it? Follow me, I'm going to the pathway. This is not an active track where you can go really fast with objects. It's right there. If I hear a crash, I'll know it hit something, and it lost me again. So the active track sort of works. It's not gonna be like a DJI active track or anything. What else do I have on here that I could show you? Waypoint mission is what I want to do. There's my drone. There I am. Home. Hey, that's pretty cool. It shows the home where I took off. So I'm going to do around the home area. So I'm going to go draw, take the first one, and I will draw around the home right here. See, I did a circle. Those are my waypoints. I'll hit submit. Will it work? Sent successfully. Done. The aircraft is about to enter the waypoint. Go ahead. Should go up to my waypoint level. You set these in advance. I think I set my waypoints to like, I don't know, 20 meters or 30 meters. So it's over there someplace flying. Hopefully it's not flying back to China. No, it's spinning around. It's doing great waypoints, and there it is. I think if I tap on this, I can see where it's going to. Yeah, it's doing its waypoint thing. There we go. So it's doing all that. Waypoints work great. Now the waypoints, I have to point out that you can set the altitude and you can set which way it is pointing, I believe, because you can set a point of interest. So you can do a lot of customization in the waypoints. So it's pretty decent for that. All right, let me just stop it now. I'll go back into waypoints and I'll say stop. It's very easy to use. The interface, they fixed that up nicely. It's very easy. Since I'm at 26%, we're gonna try the return to home. It's the return to home button on here, right over here. Hit that. Should go into return to home mode and come back super fast. There we go. As it's flying back, I can adjust the gimbal and look down at me. I'm over here. Coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back. I'm down on the ground. I love that the gimbal is so smooth. You have to adjust it to make it that smooth. I do that with all the drones that allow me to do settings. I adjust the gimbal to about, I think I have mine set at 15 or 20% from 100. You can set it from 0 to 100. Wow, that comes down fast. So it's only working off a barometer, so it has no idea about if it's close to the ground, off the ground, or anything. And it's landing right there. So one thing I wanted to show you about the Hubsan Zino and the accuracy test for landing. You notice how it landed over here and my pad was over there. Since it has no sensors on the bottom, it just goes by the barometer and it goes by the GPS signal. So the barometer to know when it's close to the ground and the GPS signal to help it out with location. But if you look on my little display screen here, look at the third item down. It says in the settings, search parking apron beta. So they have a beta thing, and if I open it, what it's going to do, I don't know if I have enough power to show you this. So what it will do is, when it comes to return to home, it's going to look for this apron. So if I move this apron in the center, it doesn't know what your takeoff and landing pad is. It just knows that every human on the planet has a round or square takeoff pad that usually is a different color than the surrounding area. So that's all it does. So let me just see if I can make it work here. I've only got 25% battery life left, but let me just go up. Let's see if it lands on the apron, as they call it. I don't know. In your country, do you call that an apron? I call that a landing and takeoff pad, but I don't know. An apron is usually something I would wear if I didn't want to get food or chemicals or something on me. That would be an apron, I believe. So there it is up there. I don't have the record on because I just want to see. I'm going to let it play with the camera itself. So it's looking down. Let's see if it found that little yellow landing pad. Well, it doesn't even look like it's on it, but it's coming down. It looks like it's off, but you can see it on my controller screen because I'm recording my screen. So it's going to land on me, it looks like. It did say beta. Oh, it stopped there. It stopped. What's it doing? It stopped. I'm not doing anything. It's just stopped. Is it figuring out the apron? It's moving itself. Let's see. Oh, I think it's going to find the apron. Because look what's on I didn't even notice that on my screen. There's like a bullseye targeting thing. That is pretty cool. All right, Hubsan. So they have some pretty smart engineers that work there with no sensors on the bottom, no other ability. They've developed a system that is simplistic in nature and it actually works. Look at this thing. It's keeping the friggin' little apron, as if you call it, in the center of the screen. Okay, I've never seen a drone do that before. Is it coming down still? There we go. I just moved the camera up and, well, Hubsan, you impressed the heck out of me. It takes a lot to impress me, but Hubsan, you just impressed the heck out of me with that. That is impressive. All right, guys. Yeah, you saw it here. That's pretty cool. I love that. All right, so what I want to show you right now really quick is the camera settings on the Hubsan Zino, because you can change them, which is pretty good. So take a look at my screen display here. If I snap a picture, There's a picture snapped, and if I zoom in on that picnic table, you can see the detail. So now what I'm going to do is, let me put it in video because there's more settings in video. So I'll switch it over to video mode, switch to video mode, and right over here, camera settings. You can see video resolution. I can go 4K, 2.7K, 1080p or 720p, frame rate's 30. It just does 30. If you lower the resolution, you can do a higher frame rate up to 60. I love the white balance. See how it says ordinary? Well, ordinary is their way of saying automatic. It's just ordinary, ordinary. And the color, well, it's ordinary. The color can actually be black and white, bright or nostalgic. And ordinary, which is interesting. That's an interesting term to use. And your video format is MP4. At the top right, there's a little control wheel. Click that, a gear I should say. And you can change the ISO, it's automatic. I can put it on manual. Exposure, saturation, contrast, sharpness, grid lines. I usually have mine on, I don't know why they went off. And you can format your SD card, lose everything, and reset camera parameters to go back to the basics if you goof things up. So the camera is nicely adjustable to get what you wish. All right, final thoughts on this Hubsan Zino. Well, first off, I'm gonna say it actually is not noisy. It's pretty quiet. I was surprised at that. Second thing is it flies really well. They have tuned this thing to fly amazingly well. And if you find that it doesn't fly, if you find it's too jerky or too fast, you can actually adjust it in the settings. There's controls in there to control the speed of movement of your joysticks for the reaction of the drone, which is a nice touch that Hubsan added because, it makes it less an entry-level drone when you see those things. The only thing that keeps this Hubsan Zino in the entry-level drone market is the price and the quality of the build. It's very much an entry-level drone in build quality. You know, it has no sensors. It's very plasticky. The controller's has no markings on it whatsoever. But as soon as you get over that and you fly this thing and you check out the 4K camera image quality you get, it's really, really good. And the fact that Hubsan knows that they're stuck with limitations with this drone because it lacks sensors and all the good stuff that the bigger drones have. Even the smaller drones like the Bugs 4W, it's got a ton of sensors on it, but the camera's not so great. But this one here has got no sensors, but an outstanding camera. So even with that, Hubsan has managed to use just a tiny barometer that's inside and make this thing fly as if it had a ton of sensors built into it. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to show you an unboxing of when I received this. So if you've never seen an unboxing of a Zino, well then you're going to see one. But you can watch that if you want or not watch it. It comes right after I stop talking here. So at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put links below. It was Geekbind that sent me this because it was on sale for a really good price, and I think the sale might still be on, or they'll have coupons or links to where it's on sale. It's not that expensive anymore. Oh, I see a human walking behind me. Yeah, they're right there. So ignore that. Keep following me. All right. Check out the links below where you can find this, and if you want to see the unboxing because you're thinking of buying it, well, the unboxing is coming up next, and then that's bye-bye. So I'll say bye-bye from me now, and take care. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you in the next one. And now a super quick unboxing of the Hubsan Zino. Open the box, and what do we have? We have the drone, we have spare parts, which would be the charging system, and we have the controller in here. Let's open it up. Here we have the drone. You can see it has the nice foldable arms, and they put some cardboard just to hold the props in place. I'll just pull these out really quick. I'll just remove all the paper. Taking a quick look at the top of the drone, we see we have the branding right here, plus a power button at the back. And if we look at the left-hand side of the drone, we see we have a micro USB card slot right here, plus a USB slot, and nothing else. And then if we go to the other side, let's just flip it the other way. Nothing on that side, just some vent holes. And if we look at the back, this would be the battery. And if we look at the bottom, this again would be the battery. There's nothing. This drone has 0 sensors. So let's pull the battery out really quick and watch the bottom. As I pull the battery out, there we go. Big gaping hole in the bottom. This is a 3-cell LiPo battery, 11.4 volts at 3000 milliamps. Having a quick look at the front of the drone, no sensors up here, and all we have is the gimbal guard. And if we remove that, we see the camera. This is a 4K camera with a 3-axis gimbal, which is very nice to have. Having a look at the motors, you can see they are brushless motors and foldable props. And take a look at the screws at the top. They are flathead screws. Next item in the box would be over here. This would be your controller. Let's see. There you go. The controller is massively white and probably blends in with my background. Right here you have a spot to put your cell phone. That should come out. There we go. And you can yank it away out, so you can fit a pretty large phone in there. Check that out. We have your typical joysticks right here. We have some LED lights right here. We have a switch right here that says normal and sport. This button is your takeoff and land, and this button is your return to home. And as you can see, as I bring it close, they are identified in white. So look at that. If I go sideways, maybe you can see a bit better. It's very hard to see the writing on those buttons. And this is the power button. Hold that in, and she's powered on. On the front right here, you have a wheel for your gimbal, up and down, take a photo, and record some video with this button. Antennas are rather long compared to a DJI controller, and have a look right here, right there, you can see a wire, which is nice to see in a controller, which means it's very good for range. The last item in the box would be right here, spare part. First thing on top is this little adapter for North America, plugs. Next you get a Phillips screwdriver with a flathead, that's why the screws on the top of the props were flat. Next you get a bag of spare props and spare screws. Can you read the text on this? It says this is to be used to upgrade your transmitter. Finally, in the bottom of the box, it looks like a stocking on Christmas morning, or a Cracker Jack box just filled with goodies. Comes with 3 cables right here. Those would be to attach your phone to the controller, and they have, you know, Apple, iOS, Android, everything you need. Next you get the Hubsan charging unit, and there's your power source, and there's the cable that goes to the battery to charge it. I live in North America, so I'll be adding this little adapter that comes with this kit. You also get a USB plug. I believe that might be to charge up the controller. Finally, hidden in the box is a really tiny instruction manual in multiple languages, so there's not too many instructions. Batteries in the drone. Let's weigh this baby. How much do you weigh? 708 grams.